We are in the final 5 days of my 5-week challenge where I am preparing to do a 12-hour run. Welcome back to the Tacy 12-hour fun run challenge where I am preparing to do a 12-hour run with only 5 weeks of training. As I have been going throughout this challenge, more and more so, I feel like I've hyped it up a little too much. But that also might just be taper brain kind of getting to me. At the beginning of this challenge, I honestly didn't even know if it was going to be possible. I was coming off of a very rough summer. I got hit by a car and run off the road while biking earlier in the summer. And then when I was recovering from that, I hyperextended my knee. I've had a slew of training injuries over the years that tend to come up when I increase my training load a lot. And so 5 weeks ago, or I guess 4 weeks ago, technically, we're not at challenge day yet, but I decided to do this and I really wasn't even sure how far I would make it through. I was very concerned with my IT band or my hip acting up. And I can say that throughout the challenge, I have felt surprisingly good. A lot of the reasons are because one of my primary focuses for this was to be healthy, to stay healthy, and to not get re-injured. So I have been very intentional with my training. And for these last few days here, we're going to talk through some goals, some of the stuff that I've done, and continue to do our recaps for this final week. So today is going to be day 29 and 30. To start out with the recaps, day 29 was a light run and a gym workout. I did an 8-mile run on the treadmill. Since being back, I've had really low motivation. I don't know if it's the area, the house, but there's some weird stuff going on, but it's been like I got back and then I just kept delaying. Versus when I was on my trip, it was really easy to just go out and do my runs because I didn't really have anything else I had to worry about. Whereas here, I start my day, I get into one task and another. And so, especially the next few days and post-challenge, I'm probably going to be either creating a second challenge or something to be doing daily morning workouts again, just so I can get myself back in that routine when I'm back here at home. So did treadmill, 2% grade. This is one of my recommendations for the treadmill is if you're going to do it, don't do it flat. You can do it flat for like the first few minutes and for the recovery portion, but for majority of the run, if you're using a treadmill, you want to have it on at least 0.5%. I usually do 2%. And part of that is to help mimic actually running outside on terrain. So that's my recommendation for you. I also added a few intervals. I didn't increase the pace very much, but I did bump them up to 4 to 8% just because I needed to keep myself engaged. Afterwards, followed it up with about a 50-minute gym workout, my standard routine, overhead or weighted burpees with overhead press and a bunch of single leg work, just continuing to keep myself strong. Day 30, I did another 8-mile run in the park. Super easy, super casual. We're in taper week. Basically just keeping my legs moving. Had a couple little stride intervals in there, but nothing special. I did go back to the gym as well. Did a little bit of a shorter workout this time, changed it up a little bit, was doing sissy squats, stretching, did some regular squats as well, core work, and ended in the sauna. So those are days 29 and 30 as far as training goes. As far as the nutrition side of things, since I've been back, I have been able to get myself a little bit more home cooking. So on Monday or on the 29th, 29th, 30th, breakfast wise, pretty simple, either eggs and toast or Kashi cereal. For lunch, doing turkey sandwiches. It's just kind of my go-to. It's easy, it's balanced, and yeah. And then for dinner on the 29th, I did rice, quinoa, eggs, and kielbasa. And then dinner last night, I did pesto pasta. Two of my go-tos there. So snacks throughout the day, yogurt, pretzels, and Go Macro bars. And then as far as tracking all that stuff goes, still using the Get Fuelin' app as more tracking than prevented. So more preventative tracking versus proactive. And I keep intending to use it more proactive. It was really hard on the road because I never really knew where I was going to be. So planning out meals was pretty difficult, and I've only been back for a few days and still haven't managed to go to the grocery store. And so I haven't been able to plan those things out, but I'm going to try to plan that out for the next week, see how that all goes. They do have a lot of like preset meals in there, recommendations, stuff like that. And so I'm going to kind of scroll through there, see what type of grocery list I can put together. And then hopefully for the next week, I can take a more proactive approach versus reactive. So that's going to be day 29 and 30 as far as the recaps go. One of the things I do want to talk about as well is goals. So I haven't talked about this too much because I really haven't known where my fitness level was going to be during this challenge. But again, the 12-hour run, I'll be running from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. September 30th, Centennial Park. I'll be wearing some ducky shorts. So if you're in the Nashville area and you want to come run with me, just look out for the duckies. I'll be on a 1-mile loop for 12 hours. Additionally on that, at the beginning of the challenge, again, I didn't know what really pace goals. I kind of had something in mind. Throughout the challenge, I've pretty much been saying around like 10-minute miles is the goal. That would put me right around 72 miles for the challenge. If I didn't have any stops or anything like that. Now, I can say that I've done an Ironman before, and although that did take me less than 12 hours, I didn't have to stop for a bathroom or anything like that on those challenges, so I don't know if it'll be the same. Again, doing an Ironman, having the multiple disciplines is very different than doing an ultra, just because there's a different type of impact on the body. Instead of changing up between the different sports, body positions, muscle usage, it's all the same thing the whole time. So I still don't really know what to expect for that. The longest runs I've done so far are still around the 4-hour range. I intended to get some really long ones in during my travels, but I just wasn't able to fit them in. I did have multiple 2-a-days, so there were a couple days that I got over 6 hours during the day or within a 24-hour period. But none of my runs themselves ended up being over 4 hours. So that was probably something I could have done better on, but it is what it is. After that tangent, going back to paces, I didn't touch 10 minutes once the last few weeks. I was really, really being intentional about my runs, trying to slow them down, keep them easy, and most of them fell in the mid-8s. A couple where I was really tired moved up into like the mid to low 9s. And so I think that as far as pace goals, I'll probably be targeting closer to 9-minute miles versus 10-minute miles. There's a good chance that the first half will be a little bit faster and then the back half will be a little bit slower. My plan is to just keep moving. Now, if I have to go to the bathroom, of course, I'm going to go to the bathroom. If I do have to walk, I'm going to walk. But the goal is to be running, jogging, hobbling for majority of the 12 hours. And so if I'm doing 9-minute miles versus 10-minute miles, that will put me a little bit higher up, targeting maybe closer to the 80-mile range. But it's really hard to say still because I've never done a run that long. So we're going to find out. But right now, bumping that target down, maybe closer to 9. Maybe it'll still be 10. We'll find out on race day, though. And with all that, if you got questions, comments, concerns, leave them down below. Love you all. Happy training, and catch you next time.